Best Hamlet since Olivier. Wow. Laurence Olivier is considered the finest actor of the last century. High praise indeed.
Well deserved. High praise.
Though in truth some would say that Olivier's Hamlet was flawed. But I know you mean best Hamlet since Olivier is a compliment, so I will hold my tongue and simply say thank you.
You're welcome. So, are we agreed? I've got everything set up. A short, direct, straight into the camera video.
Hamlet. Not my Hamlet.
My mother and I saw it last night. I want you to simply...
Oh, you were there last night. I'm sorry you weren't there last Friday night. Now that was the performance to see. If Larry Olivier was looking down on us from above that night, that last Friday night, he must have been as jealous as a green-eyed monster. We were focused that night, focused on performing Hamlet.
And now, we're focused on this.
Oh, this, yes, your little video. Well, let's get her started, shall we? Oh, incidentally, I wasn't trying to imply that my Hamlet was superior to Olivier's. I would never suggest such a thing. Those things are better left to others.
Well, you can leave that to me. So, you're ready to go. You are committed to our cause.
I'm open to your cause.
I'm sorry?
I'm an actor. I play parts, many parts. I can play this part.
It's not a part. We're not looking for someone to recite lines.
And I hope I always do more than recite lines.
Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Heaven? This is for the internet.
My mother and I heard you speak. An interview. It's online. You stated things about Shakespeare that led us to believe
That there's doubt.
Yes, definitive doubt that he wrote the work.
I have doubt.
Oh, you're one of us.
Yes. No, it's just an actor. A real actor is a chameleon. I take on each role, breathe life into it. I'm always truthful, whether I believe what I'm saying or not. You'll be very happy with my work, I guarantee it. Let me read you what I have.
No, we need someone who believes, truly believes like we do. On the Shakespeare authorship question, define your position. Define it.
I wouldn't define it.
You're either with us or against us.
We've agreed on a price. Let us agree on a text. Let me read you what I
Partner, if I can call you that.
Everything you say for us, you have to be ready to defend. An actor performing Shakespeare's greatest work going against the Stratfordian propaganda, against the educational system, against the myth that... Look, I am not trying to scare you.
What scared me of doing a video? Why would I be scared?
The Stratfordians will not take kindly to this.
The who won't?
The Stratfordians. They willfully promulgate the nonsensical belief that William Shakespeare wrote Shakespeare. This nonsense undermines learning, knowledge, in fact, truth itself. They have a vested interest in their statements. Statements which are riddled with errors of fact and logic, full of mischaracterizations of our position. They ignore us, ridicule us, call us crackpots. Stratfordians are evil.
I'm sorry, by Stratfordians, do you mean people who live in Stratford-upon-Avon, England?
No,
Well then, who exactly are these Stratfordians?
not just Stratford.
Oh, who are they? Who are these Stratfordians?
Professors, historians, Shakespearean biographers, British tour guides. Everyone. Everyone that stands to lose by the dethroning of Shakespeare, the man from Stratford, hence Stratfordians.
Okay, let me just read you what I have. May I read?
Yes, you'd better.
Hello. My name is Connor Hamilton, and I'd like to talk to you about William Shakespeare.
Let me stop you. Right there.
What? Why?
William Shakespeare.
What about him?
He didn't exist.
Excuse me?
We need to emphasize right from the start, the man from Stratford, commonly assumed to have been William Shakespeare, was really named William Shakespeare. That was his real name, Shakespeare. He wasn't Shakespeare, he was Shakespeare. This fact drives the Stratfordians nuts.
Shakespeare. You want me to say, I'd like to talk to you about William Shakespeare.
Is that too confusing?
Yes.
Perhaps you're right.
Now, I was surprised to learn that there are no plays, poems, or even any letters written in William Shakespeare's own hand.
No, you're going to have to say Shakespeare. Shakespeare's a man from Stratford. Please say, in William Shakespeare's own hand.
In William Shakespeare's own hand. Now, this was 400 years ago.
Oh. You absolutely must not say 400 years ago.
Oh, but it was 400, wasn't it? Around that 1600 or so. I checked the dates.
No, Connor, my goodness. The board heard you say that.
Well, they like you and want you, but 400 years ago it was 1611.
And?
The Earl of Oxford wrote the works of Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
We're talking about the writing, not the person. The person is Shakespeare, the writer is Shakespeare.
I thought you said that the writer was the Earl of Oxford.
Yes, but Shakespeare's the name the Earl of Oxford used to disguise himself. So when we say Shakespeare, we mean the Earl of Oxford. When we say Shakespeare, we mean the guy people think was Shakespeare, but was actually not. I thought you knew this.
Well, frankly, I'm not all that into the Earl of Oxford.
What? Oxford was Shakespeare!
Yes, I know. I didn't mean that he was.
Thank God, because if the board hears you
No, they will never hear that Oxford was not Shakespeare, not from me. So what I meant is, what I think is important is that Shakespeare might not have been Shakespeare.
You mean Shakespeare was not Shakespeare?
Yes, that Shakespeare was not Shakespeare, and that is what I have written. That is the focus. I don't mention Oxford.
Yes, but you imply it.
Well, no, I don't even really imply it.
Oh, you must. You must always imply it. On the other hand, some on the board might ask you to mention that we can prove that all the plays were written before 1604, thereby showing that the Earl of Oxford could have written all of Shakespeare, at least in theory. And in the end, that's all we have.
Theory. That's all we have.
No, facts.
You just said in the end theory is all we have.
Yes, but theory always precedes facts.
Really? I thought that facts led to theory.
In theory, yes. But in reality, of course not. One has a theory, then one selects the facts to prove their theory. That's how we ended up with Shakespeare being Shakespeare. I thought you knew this.
No.
All due respect, what is it that you do know?
Well, that there are no original plays, poems, or letters written in William Shakespeare's own hand. And considering he is the greatest of writers, I find it quite astonishing that there are no original plays, poems, or letters. And that's it. That's all I know.
And that's good. Please, keep away from the word original.
Original. Why?
You mustn't use the word original because it's not clear what original means.
It means original. The first copy.
No, there's no such thing as original. The point is, there are no manuscripts or any letters in the author's own hand. You must never use the word original. Never.
Please, stop. Stop lecturing me. I am an actor. A Shakespearean actor. A good one.
You're wonderful. That's why the board asked me to pursue you.
Thank you, but I am not a scholar like you.
Scholar? I'm hardly a scholar. I'm stating the most basic facts. Now, the word original.
Yes.
Why you must never use it. Writers back then produced what's called foul papers. Then had copyists make fair copies. Then had scribes make holographs.
Oh, what is a holograph?
Now you're scaring me.
I told you I'm not a scholar.
My God, neither am I. Connor, a holograph? You don't know. I'm sorry, I would never be condescending. And yes, I've heard you actors have limited book learning. A holograph is a document entirely handwritten and signed by an individual.
So it's a handwritten document.
By one person.
And there are none by Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. No, none, not one. And that's just one reason why the Shakespeare wrote Shakespeare stories complete utter nonsense. You simply don't wander into London and suddenly produce encyclopedias of knowledge. You don't suddenly know places you've never visited, know languages you've never learned, and you don't do it all without producing a single holograph. We are talking about the greatest writer of all time, and not one solitary holograph.
that you know the future, because the future is part of all time. You must never use the word all time. Never, never, never. I thought you knew this.
Touche.
Hit, a palpable hit.
A touch, I do confess. Shall we continue?
By all means. Action. Hello. My name is Connor Hamilton, and I'd like to talk to you about William Shakespeare.